Hey Brian, thanks for sharing last week about needing to get back to work. I have been going through the exact opposite position where I have been working so much that I have not had as much time as I would like for games. It's a good problem to have, but yes, I would rather be gaming. Now looking at kind of the stark roller coaster between what you're going through and what I'm going through kind of reminded me of where GameStop's at, and so today I just wanted to kind of tell you a little brief history of GameStop. Now Brian, you and I aren't that different in age. I don't know if you knew this, but us both being from the Dallas area, GameStop was founded right here in Dallas in 1984. That's pretty neat because actually you and I live, probably shouldn't show that this is being posted to the internet. And I even worked at the GameStop distribution center in Grapevine for a year while I was in college. And occasionally while I was there you would see the name Babbage's on things like different property or different checks or anything like that. And it's actually because in 1984 that was their name, Babbage's etc. But in 1999, Barnes & Noble actually bought GameStop, and in 2000 they bought Funko, the publisher of Game Informer, and Funko kind of became Babbage's parent, GameStop's parent, and it all ended up taking on GameStop as the name. Now this prepared Barnes & Noble for, in 2002, they went ahead and had a big IPO, and it was supposed to be this big, overwhelming success, but a bookstore doesn't really necessarily make them good at running a game store. So by 2004, GameStop had purchased itself from Barnes & Noble and spun off and did its own thing, and this is where you really see them take off. They bought EB Games in 2005. In 2007, they bought Rhino Games from Blockbuster. Man, Blockbuster has had a rough go. And they ended up buying Micromania, a big retailer in France, because nothing could stop them as they went into 2008, and then things stopped for everybody. And while video games are affected by recessions, they're actually a very affordable as far as like amount of entertainment per dollar. And so they never really dropped as low as they were when they first got off the ground, you know, really rarely dropping below that kind of $20 price point in their stock. And that's not a bad place to be. So in 2010, GameStop bought Kongregate, the online platform for gaming. So if you remember that kind of taking a little bit of a shift around that time period, that's why the changes came about. This is also when they came up with their Power Up Rewards program, you know, that kind of the grocery store style where like you can get savings, but you gotta buy into our program so we can sell your merchandising information and all your marketing trends. This also got them headed towards digital games in 2011, which allowed them by 2012 to buy Mytronics, which really gave them the platform they needed to launch their online store. And so at this point, I'm sure you're realizing that for a game with such a youthful idea, they really have a very adult way of running their business, where it's acquisition, acquisition, acquisition. And they're buying things every year, and that's what gets investors excited and helps get investors not feel like they're taking a risk on video games, that they know there is a real business being done here and that they are really taking advantage of the industry that they're in. Now the online store was a big move, and it honestly probably came late, but it got them headed towards where they were back in that 2007 push, though they never quite got back to the peak. And then they started to make some really big bold decisions. Like they spent like $10 million in 2013 on launching the Kongregate Developers Program. Not really sure that ever paid out for them, though obviously I don't see the numbers. And then by 2013 they bought Simple Mac and Spring Mobile to start getting them into like a reseller of Apple products and of phones and things like that. And that really started to get away from, okay, we're a gaming company. But it did let them strike a deal with Cricket, which is an AT&T subsidiary that's really big on like prepaid cell phone plans here in the United States. And as that deal was done in 2014, they also did the GameStop Technology Institute, and so they're kind of really broadening their model. And while I don't think any of these ideas have really panned out for them, I think they do have to broaden their model, because historically you're seeing brick and mortar stores struggle. Things like Best Buy, all of these are struggling as we move to digital things like either downloading direct to console or buying off of something like Amazon. Really, it's just getting harder and harder for brick and mortar stores in almost all industries to keep up. So they keep looking for the next big thing. So by 2015, they bought the parent company of ThinkGeek. This was like a $140 million deal, so that's a bigger risk. And they started to dip into developer deals. Like being the exclusive retailer for the Ratchet and Clank release in 2016. And this is just them predicting their own future, because the last 9 weeks of 2016 historically should be a very good time for a retailer for something like games. really was not a big push for them, which led into 2017 where they've started to get some bad press. And this is what leads into why the 2017 news is so controversial, as we learn about the Circle of Life program and kind of some bad press surrounding that, and the fact that there's going to be some store closures. I'm not sure which parts of this you knew, and I'm sure you're going to have great luck in your business, Brian. I have watched you working hard on it, and I am very excited to see where it takes you. And if you or anybody else want to leave comments on this history or anything else down in the comments section below, I'd love to hear from you. But Brian, I will see you next week.
Thanks for watching. YouTube has a pretty cool video waiting for you over here. Our latest vlog is down below. For those of you new, subscribe is over here. And all of our other contact info is just right below me here. Thanks for watching.